Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome dear students. This is Miss Layla Al-Jihani. Inshallah today we will continue our unit 6. Inshallah today we will cover lesson 11, writing. We will cover the writing. Before we start, dear students, make sure that you're sitting in a quiet place. You are prepared, your notebooks, your books, everything is prepared in front of you so we can start. Before we start the actual lesson, let's recall what we covered in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, we covered the reading. The reading was about Jeddah, the pride of the Red Sea. Okay, so this was the title of our reading. Okay, the main idea of the reading was the first sentence. This was the main idea. Okay. And we had, for every paragraph, we have a topic sentence. We considered it as a detail 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These details were to support our main idea. When you have an idea, you have to support it with details, okay? And also we had many questions. We answered the questions together related to the reading. Also, another part of our lesson was the project, okay? You were asked to choose one city, any city in our beloved kingdom, okay? You can choose any city and you have to write about it, okay? I showed you some samples. You can follow as a chart or you can do it as a table and then present it to your class, okay? This is your time to present the homework in front of your class. If you've done your homework, you have to present it as a group, okay? And then you can vote which city you think is the best based on the presentation, okay? Inshallah, by the end of our lesson today, you will be able to write about the assets and future aims of your city or neighborhood, okay? يعني إيش assets؟ يعني إيش aims? We will discuss everything. I will go with you through everything step by step. خلاص? Before we start, I gave you a homework, page 127. It was, you have a reading. I'm sure you did the homework and you did the reading. Okay, I'm not gonna read it, but overall, it's about the difference between living in a city and in a small town. And they highlighted the difference between the two, okay? So if you haven't had the chance to read it now and compare your answers with your friend, okay? For number 1, what are 3 reasons some people like to live in a big city, okay? Some people like to live in a big city because there are a lot of people to meet. This is the first reason. A lot of places to eat. This is the second reason. The third reason is, and a lot of things to do. These are the reasons they are provided based on the text, the reading, okay? Number 2, how many people have to live in a town for the town to be considered a small town, okay? Less than 10,000 people have to live in a town for it to be considered a small town. We can consider a place we live in a small town if we have less than this number, okay? Number 3, why do some people regret moving to a big city from a small town? Some people, when they move from a small town to a big city, they regret it. Why? Some people regret moving to a big city because they miss the community of a small town. This is number 3. Number 4, what is the name of the town that was recently voted as the best small town in America? So, Hammondsport, New York was recently, this is the name of the town, was recently voted the best small town in America, okay? Number 5, what are 3 things that young people like to do in a small towns? 3 things that young people like to do in small towns include riding ATV bees, riding horses, and riding snowmobiles. These are the 3 reasons provided based on the reading. Okay? Now, if you can open your books, page 66. Can you open your books, page 66? In part A, they said write about Saudi Arabia. So you will write about our country. This is the first thing. When we are writing, okay, there are some steps we have to follow, okay? I think on there you can see a big paragraph, big chunk of paragraph. They want you to write about your town or a city you are living in, and you have to write something similar to that text. Is it difficult? I'm sure you can do it, but I will show you the steps to achieve that text, so you can write something similar. There are some steps you have to follow, okay? So the first thing they said here, create a chart. يعني إيش chart? These are the charts. He wants you to create a chart. You can choose any chart. You can make a cloud. You can draw something like this, so you can write down your ideas, okay? Why are we making the chart? To make notes, so we can write notes. Why do we use the notes? From where we get the information? The notes, these are the information we want to put in our writing. From where we get it? So before you start, we have to know the writing process. Before you write, you have to make your notes. صح؟ طيب. He wants us to write an essay. يعني إيش essay? Okay? Do you know what does a sentence mean? If we have a group of words together, we are forming a sentence. صح؟ طيب. When we put 2, 3 sentences together, we are changing it to a paragraph. We have a big chunk of sentences. صح؟ طيب, if we have 1 paragraph and we have 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, this forms the essay. If you can look in at your book, page 66, you can see that the writing is divided into paragraphs. Our writing, the essay, has to be in paragraphs and forms an essay. You have to do like our reading. You have to have a main idea, and then you have the supporting details. Every paragraph has a supporting detail, okay? طيب, what are the paragraphs? The first paragraph, we have an introduction. We have an introduction. We have to introduce our topic, okay? So the introduction is only 1 paragraph. It contains how many sentences? 3 to 4 sentences is a good number. If you have 3, 4 sentences as an introduction, this is good, okay? It's more than enough. طيب, for the body, the other parts of the essay, we call it body. The body contains 2 or 3 or more, sometimes more. But 2 or 3 is a good number for your level of English. So 2 to 3 paragraphs. Every paragraph you have to write 4 to 5 sentences. These information, you can find it in your book. And I just want to help you to write the essay step by step. I want to tell you how to divide your essay, how to write your essay. You have to have an introduction. You have to have a body, and you have to have a conclusion. Introduction, how many sentences? 3 to 4 sentences is more than enough. The body, you have to write 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs. Every paragraph you have to write 4 to 5 sentences. خلاص? And at the end, you have to write a conclusion. To summarize your writing, you have to summarize everything, okay? The conclusion is only 1 paragraph. 2 to 3 sentences is enough to summarize the whole thing as a conclusion, okay? But if you can look at the bottom of our page, we have the writing corner, okay? You have the writing corner there. So most forms of writing are organized in paragraphs. As we said, we have paragraphs, صح? طيب, essays, begin with an introductory paragraph. As I showed you in the pyramids before, we have the first paragraph, introductory paragraph. It's an introduction, okay? Introductory paragraph that presents the main idea. In your introduction, you have to tell me when I read it, I will know what is the essay, what is it about, okay? Yani you have to introduce your topic, okay? Like the one we read about Jeddah. When we read the first paragraph, you can refer to it. When we read the first paragraph, we understood they are talking about Jeddah, صح? You have to state your main idea there in the introduction. So the main body, it's of an essay, may have one or many paragraphs. Prefer to have 2 to 3, okay, to divide your ideas. Each paragraph focuses and develops a specific topic. So every paragraph, you have to have a detail to support the main idea. When you say, I think Jeddah is the best city in Saudi Arabia, and I stop talking, are you convinced? لا يا miss. I think Riyadh is. No يا miss. I think Abha is. Okay? Each one of us, they have their own opinion, their own idea. We have to support it with evidence, with details, okay? You have to convince the reader that Jeddah is the best city, or Riyadh is the best city, or Sharqiya is the best city, okay? You have to convince the reader with specific topic. There is usually a topic sentence. For every paragraph, you have to write a topic sentence, okay? A detail. You can say there are many places you can visit in Jeddah. Okay, this is the detail. This is the topic sentence. For example, you can go to malls, you can go to restaurants. Okay, so you have to write a topic sentence, the first reason. Okay, you have to write it down, and then you give examples to finish your paragraph. Okay? At the end, there is a conclusion that sums up, which means summarize the main idea of the essay. So it gives a summary of the essay. 2 to 3 sentences is more than enough to write it down. Okay? What is a topic sentence? What does it mean? A topic sentence is a statement that tells what your paragraph will be about. You explain. When you write the topic sentence, I understand. خلاص, this paragraph will provide places I will visit in Jeddah. Okay? And the other paragraph, when I read the topic sentence, she will write about the traditional places. You know what I mean? When I read the topic sentence, I understand the whole paragraph. It will be about what? This is the topic sentence. It states the main idea of the paragraph. We have the main idea of the whole essay, and we have the topic sentence. It states the main idea of every paragraph. Okay? طيب, what is the steps to write an essay? The first step we follow is research. You have to do research. Okay? We said draw a chart to write notes. صح? This is what they want you at the beginning to do, to write notes. You gather the notes and the ideas through research. Okay? After you research and you gather the information, you have to write it, transfer the ideas, and put it in the chart or put it in a table. After that, you write a draft. Okay? You write a sample of your writing, you change your notes into writing, and then you proofread the draft, and then you have the final writing. These are the steps you follow to write an essay. خلاص؟ طيب يعني miss, I don't get it. We will do it step by step. The first one is research. يعني إيش research? You gather information. You collect information. From where? From books, from the internet, or you can ask people around you, okay, for information, okay? And then all the information you get through reading books, through the internet, you write it down into notes. You write your notes. You write not everything you read, you write it down. I think Jeddah is, you write it down. لا. You write the main points, the good ideas, okay? You write the important ideas, you write some examples you like, you write the important information. You can write it, as we said in the beginning, in a chart or in a table, okay? When we write our notes, خلاص, we research, we read, okay? And we have the information in a table, okay? What do we do next? We transfer it into writing. We start writing our paper. خلاص? We change our notes into writing. Okay? We change it, transfer it into writing. طيب. خلاص, I finished the writing. What do I do next? I proofread the writing. يعني إيش؟ يعني I give it to my friend to read it, to check for mistakes, to check for areas of improvement, how to make the writing better, okay? You read it. Not only you can ask your friend, you can read it again. You can leave it aside for like one day. The second day you read it again with fresh mind, with new thoughts, okay? And you read it, لا, I don't need all of these information. I will remove this. I think I need to add this. You add something, okay? You revise the writing, or you ask a friend to read it, ask parents, siblings, anyone who can help around you to read it again, okay? When you ask someone to read it and you get their feedback, they will tell you, لا Muna, لا Ahmed, you have to change this. You have to put this in front of this. They will give you some advice. After you gather the information, you have to do the final writing. خلاص, you proofread it. You have to change the words. Sometimes we write important, important, important. Do you remember what did we say about repetition? We have to avoid repeating the words. We have to look for synonyms, صح? So this is the final writing. You have to change the repetition. You have to change the grammar, look for the grammar, look for the spelling mistakes. You have to add, if you need to add new information, you add it. If you add, you need to delete unnecessary information. If something is, you think, unnecessary, you can remove it until you produce your final writing. Okay, did you see the steps we went through? It's not easy, it's hard work, okay? But at the end, you will provide something that you are proud of, okay? The final project you will give to your teacher and you are proud of it. These steps, please keep it in mind. It will help you, inshallah, in the future when you go to universities, when you complete your studies. These steps will be with you, inshallah, okay? So here, at A, write about Saudi Arabia, create a chart. We know what does a chart mean. To make notes. What do they want you to write about? On the advantages and benefits. They want you to write about the advantages and benefits, which we call it the assets. What does the advantages and benefits mean? The assets are the important things we think Saudi Arabia have, okay? The important values, the important assets, the important things we have in Saudi Arabia, okay? These what they mean about assets, okay, of the country, and what you think it can achieve. These are the aims. So what do you think Saudi Arabia will achieve in the future? What are the things we're going to develop, inshallah, in the future, okay? These are the aims, the targets, the goals, okay, in the future, okay? So the assets, we are talking about the good things and the benefits now, okay? And the aims, we are talking about the things we want to achieve in the future, okay? He wants you to write about these two things. خلاص? طيب, we created a chart. The first chart, advantages and benefits, which is the assets. And the second one, future achievements, which is the aims. What do you think the advantages and benefits. I want you to work with your friends. Don't do it alone. Work with your friends to write down the notes. Write down your ideas here. Make a map, make a chart. This is what they want you to do, to make a chart. Okay? What do you think Saudi Arabia will achieve in the future? What is our goals, our aims? You have to write it down here. Okay? This is the first thing they ask you to do. When you finish, here, organize your chart around, this is the second part of our exercise, around these themes. He provided some themes, some main ideas to follow, okay? Add a theme of your own. If you think you can add more, add it. So, you will write about Saudi Arabia, and we have the themes here. خلاص؟ طيب, the first theme, family and community. What do you think? How is our community in Saudi Arabia? What do you think? Is it a close community? Do you think we value family? Do you think we value our community? Yes. As the Prophet said, Allahumma salli wa sallim alayh, as our Islam guides us to be close, okay, with each other, to value your neighbors, be a good neighbor, okay? So you can say we have good neighborhood, good communication, we can say good relationship with family. You can talk about family and community, and you can add the details here, okay? You can talk about education. In Saudi Arabia, you have many universities, great schools. You can talk about everything. Natural resources. Do you think we have natural resources? Yes, we have. We have the oil, the most important thing. We have our oil. And we have also, we plant dates. Yes? So we talk also about tourism. How do you think Saudi Arabia now is doing with tourism? Do we have a lot of tourists? Yes, we do. Transportation. What do you think about transportation? Do we have different types of transportation? Is it similar as before? لا, we improved. Do you think we will improve more in the future? Write down all your ideas in the chart, okay? طيب, part B, read the extract from the Vision 2030 program. Do you see the big chunk of reading? Okay? It is our vision, Saudi Arabia Vision 2030. This is our vision, okay? Circle each asset, underline each aim. But you know what does an asset mean? The things we are doing now. The aim, the things we will do in the future. خلاص? He wants you to circle every asset and underline every aim. I will highlight the assets in blue and I will highlight the aims in red. خلاص? طيب, I want you to do it first, okay? Read the paragraph with your friends and then underline, circle, then compare your ideas. Compare the underlined and the circles with your friends, okay? Let's see what we did together. Saudi Arabia has many natural resources. These are the assets, the things we have now, such as oil, gold, and other valuable minerals. This is the first thing. The strength and potential of its people. This is something we have now. And the ones in blue are the things we want to do in the future. It will create a great future and the government will support its people and country. When you see will, you know this is something in the future, so automatically you know it's an aim for the future. صح? I did the whole thing, the whole asset. I underlined, and you have to underline and circle, and you compare your notes with your friend, okay? And part C, make another chart to write lists of assets in your town. Now we're not talking about Saudi Arabia, we're talking about your city and town. خلاص? You have to write an essay about your neighborhood or city and what you think the aims should be for your city, or neighborhood's future? What do you think they will do in the future? What do you think the aims should be? What do you think the assets you have in your neighborhoods, the things you have now? Will you use the same style of chart? Will you use a table? If not, tell me why. Okay? So what does he want you to do? Write an essay about the aims of your city or neighborhood. Include ideas about how you and other good citizens can help your city to achieve these aims. Tell me the things that you will do as an individual to support your community. خلاص? This will be as your homework. You have to write it as an essay. Remember the steps and go back to it if you need more support, okay? Go back to introduction, how to write an introduction, how to write the body, how many paragraphs, how many sentences, the steps of writing until you do your homework, okay? Will you use the same chart? Will you use, like for example, if you are writing about Abha, you will write down the themes. You can add more themes and you can write down your ideas. You can research it, okay? So for your homework, you have to do your workbook, page 128. Also, as we said, you have to write an essay about your hometown or neighborhood, okay? What did we cover in our lesson today? We covered many important details, the steps to write a proper essay and how to form the structure of an essay. And we learned the difference between aims and assets of Saudi Arabia. We read about it. And you have to write about your city and your hometown as a homework. Share it with your friends, with your teacher. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. And inshallah, I will see you next class.